Panther people, what is up? Thanks for watching Panthers Post with Phil Perkins. I'm that guy, Phil Perkins. If you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, set those alerts up. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight and midweek. Also follow us on Twitter at Panthers Post, #1 for the resurrected Killer Cam. And wow, if you're like me, you have gone through a range of emotions. It seems like for the past 2 weeks. That's when the Panthers picked up Cam Newton off the couch. He did what he did against Arizona in that blowout win. Right now, the Cardinals are beating the Seattle Seahawks. And then we had the official announcement that he will be starting the game against the Washington football team. The high school reunion, Ron Rivera, Taylor Heineke, Kyle Allen on the bench, Joey Sly, Curtis Samuel, all coming back to the bank. All of that eclipsed by #1, Cam Newton coming back to the bank in front of a home crowd. People at the Roaring Riot and others rocking their top hats, customizing it with cards, patches, feathers, all that kind of stuff. It felt like a college mood. I could feel it from here in Southern Ontario. Roaring Riot put up a video that was over 2.5 minutes long, just kind of walking through the tailgate, and I was feeling it. I was feeling like I was actually there. I wanted to crack open a beer at like noon. I wanted to get ready to go. I was getting into the merchandise vibe. I got bit by the merchandise virus. I think we can make virus jokes now. I was looking at the Panthers store. I see that they were recycling old Cam Newton jerseys. Now they got new ones going on. They got the blue and the black, and I just got this Christian McCaffrey, and I was like, can I swap that or just keep this and, just kind of make it a business purchase and purchase the Cam Newton jersey? 704 shop had some exclusive stuff, which was sold out like this. So it was the vibe for the team for this homecoming, this resurrection, as Cam Newton kept calling it, was hype. And then you watched Cam Newton's own hype video from his iconic productions. Oh my God. I was buying a birthday cake for my mom and I stopped everything I was doing to take a look at it. And I was just like, bro, I'm fired the F up right now. And that was at like 10 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. So I was ready to run through a wall like mad early when people were still sleeping in. And then the game started. Even pre-game, it felt like a playoff atmosphere. Cam Newton running out, doing the jet thing, adult playing a kid's game with the enthusiasm of a kid. Same thing he's always been doing since 2011. And you couldn't have asked for a better start to a game. The Panthers offense just kept moving. You had two, before it was Christian McCaffrey was the face of the franchise. He was the identity of the offense. Now you got two guys. And one of the guys can spread the ball to a bunch of other players. And you had Cam and Christian just melding so well. Cam, who was given the game plan, looked like he really understood what his game plan was in that first drive. He was just clicking on all cylinders, eventually finding DJ Moore in the end zone. Cam faking it, or at least I don't know if he was just kind of doing the magician thing. It looked like he was running straight up the middle for a score. It looked like he totally could have done that. But then he kind of pulled a Tim Tebow with a bit of a hop jump pass to DJ Moore in the back of the end zone, and the place went absolutely apeshit. Really, it felt like everybody, including Cam, was on cloud 9 for that. I'm happy that DJ Moore found the back of the end zone because it's been a minute. It's been a minute since a quarterback found DJ Moore, and other skilled receivers on this team. We're going to talk about that a little later. If we want to go chronologically, we got to remember as well, it was a bit of a homecoming for Ron Rivera. First time he's played in Charlotte. He mentioned before during the pregame interview with the NFL Network, he has played against the Panthers since he was unceremoniously fired on his day off on a Tuesday by David Tepper and company. But Taylor Heineke is drinking that Heineken. He's feeling loosey-goosey. He's feeling confident. And, Mark Sanchez and the play-by-play guy just kept talking about the fact that, Cam is confident. So is Taylor Heineken. They kept giving Taylor Heineke the props. And you must be auditioning right now because you look at every single 2022 NFL mock draft right now, without a doubt, every single time, you can put money on it that every single mock drafter is getting Matt Corral from Ole Miss and connecting him to the Washington football team. So Taylor Heineke, in a way, is fighting for a starting job, whether it's in Washington or not. It doesn't seem like this guy has the mentality of a backup quarterback, so shouts to him and shouts to the Washington offense. They moved the ball right away. They kept doing their thing. They tied the game up. Terry McLaurin is an absolute beast. He literally had Dante Jackson in his back pocket. He could do whatever he wanted. At just 6'2", 210, he's not that much bigger than Dante Jackson, but he definitely took advantage of him. And Dante even said after the game, albeit I'm filming this a little bit later in the day, I had some family commitments, but Dante Jackson told reporters that he wasn't Action Jackson today. He was just number 26. So everyone's kind of gaining that Cam Newton energy of kind of giving nicknames to themselves, talking in third person. But yeah, Dante Jackson, Action Jackson, contract year Jackson was not, he didn't play like that. He did not. And to be honest, the defense right now, especially against the run. It was tough to watch. I'm not gonna lie, it was tough to watch. The Washington football team rushed for over 200 yards. What was it? Gibson had 95 yards. Heineke had 30, so that's 120, plus 50 by McKissick-ish, so that's 170, and then 23 by Patterson. So just under-ish 200 yards of rushing against the Panthers defense. So that was kind of the tale of the tape against the Washington football team. If I could describe one word to describe the Panthers defense, it was just butter. It just felt like it was so smooth, whether it was Gibson or McKissick, mainly Gibson. You look at the guy, and maybe the replays, and maybe he had a towel guy toweling him off. It didn't look like he was breaking much of a sweat. Sure, he fumbled early, didn't play the rest of the first half, but in that second half, he definitely got the message, and he came out firing literally on all cylinders, and he didn't break a sweat. He didn't really have to do much. He just read the blocks. They have gigantic offensive linemen. They have invested in the offensive line in Washington. They really have over the years because they've just been so doo-doo. They've just been doing it slowly but surely. His offensive line just kind of did what they wanted to do, and that was kind of how they were able to flip those fourth downs, flip the third down conversions, where the Panthers had a tougher time with that. But I'm not taking anything away from the Panthers' run game. They did what they had to do. Like Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey did the damn thing. Christian McCaffrey, 59 yards rushing, 5.9 yards rushing on average. Cam Newton, 46 yards, including that score. We're going to get to that. Of course, Christian McCaffrey doing what he had to do, over 100 yards of offense, 60 yards receiving as well, and the touchdown. We're going to get to all that. But I just had to get to the Washington football team run game because that's just how they responded every single time. It covered up whatever deficiencies Taylor Heineke may have. He was able to rely on that run game and kind of do what that Matt Rule identity is run the ball, use that to set up the pass. That's exactly what Taylor Heineke did. He didn't try to do anything fancy, which they were very successful at throughout the entire game. They weren't gaining like 2-3 yards here. They were gaining chunk yardage. Gibson, 5 yards a carry. Just like, do they still have the ball? Is this still their possession? And it was unbelievable. The clock management that is at your fingertips when you can run and just command the ball like that. And it's demoralizing for a defense. Why is holding on the offensive line a 10-yard penalty? Nothing kills a drive more than a holding call. And early in the second quarter, Christian McCaffrey had a pretty dope run, and then it was called back due to holding. And instead of starting another first down, it was repeat the first, but first and 20. And while in this drive it ended up with the Panthers touchdown, we're going to get to that. It just sucks. And it happened multiple times during positive plays made by the Panthers. And I'm sure other teams are going to complain about this as well. And I'm sure every fan complains about this. But I was just wondering, and I was watching with some friends. I was just like, why is holding? Does it put anyone in danger? A 10-yard penalty. That's huge. And even Mark Sanchez was talking about it, who has been doing a pretty good job as an analyst. I'm not going to lie. He kind of talks like a normal guy talks at a bar, obviously with a lot more football knowledge. But he was saying, you can admit, you can hear in his voice, it's a bit tough, especially when the defender kind of pulls a Harry Kane or any kind of soccer player and sees that the running back or whoever the runner is runs by them, and they could just kind of put their hands in the air as if they're being pushed around against their will in an illegal fashion. The ref's going to see that every day. You can't miss, a 6'6", 320-pound muscle man, just kind of flail their arms in the air like, I can't move. And as Mark Sanchez says, the ref's going to call that every time, and it's a bummer because it's a huge penalty, 10 yards, for something that's not going to hurt anybody. So in that drive, while they overcame that first and 20 holding penalty against the Panthers, Cam Newton did what I thought he was going to do in that first drive, and my breath was actually out of my body. I felt my soul eliminate itself from my physical presence and move to another level. Perhaps that's what it's like to be on cloud nine. And Cam and the rest of the bank all just levitated together. When he rushed for 24 yards, the guy is unstoppable when he's on his feet, and he's got a full head of steam. Shout out to Ian Thomas with a beautiful block. That guy's also surprising me. Him and Shaq Thompson this year, arguably the most surprising guy so far in midway and plus season. But Cam Newton, to just taking everyone into the stratosphere and then some. You don't need to go on Blue Origin with Amazon or anything like that. He took everybody to space and back. When he got there and then rushed 50 yards backwards to do the Cam Newton Superman right at the middle of the logo, Mufasa's home. That's what he was saying. Mufasa, the king, is home. That was great. That was a momentum shift yet again after the Washington football team rallied and responded to that. Cam Newton, this is what he does. And this is Cam Newton with no offseason. Nothing. literally on his couch, making videos. I think he's eating Brussels sprouts in one of his videos, like chips. But that's what he does. He gives your team an opportunity to win. No quarterback that the Panthers have had since 2019 can do what Cam does. And that is take the eyes on the defense, keep the eyes from the defense to himself, and then let other players flourish. And then when the defense suddenly finds themselves focusing on those players, Cam makes him pay. And that's exactly what he did with that 24-yard run. And Mark Sanchez, again, I was watching the game, and he was talking about how he still has, spring in his step. He's only 32. He's 3 years younger than me. He's not that old. And yeah, he had the foot issue, but, his legs still work. And so, yeah, it looks like he's a little slower only because the guy's 6'6". He's galloping. His strides are insane. That was a pretty quick 24-yard run. But either way, it was nice to see Cam continue where he was left off because, a lot of the talk in between the Arizona game and this game was the fact that, Cam was in the red zone. And they even talked about that on the Panthers website, that they put Cam in situations where he thrives, and that's close to the end zone. And Cam Newton making it happen with his arm. His arm looked absolutely fantastic throughout this game, even though he didn't surpass 200 yards, threw no picks, didn't really throw any egregiously overthrown or underthrown balls. It doesn't look like his arm is dead-armed at all. He can definitely run still, and that run shown there, and he can still make things happen with his feet. And this is what he gives the Panthers, and this is what makes watching them fun. You have to watch them every week because they're fun, win or lose. Where they face a gigantic offensive line, whether it's the Washington football team or the Dallas Cowboys, they just get pushed around on defense. That's just the way it is. And when that is happening, normally you can rely on the defensive backfield, whether it's, Shaq Thompson or Dante Jackson, or in this case, Stephon Gilmore. Then you have yourself at least the other half of the field that is taken care of. But when guys like Dante Jackson's not having a great day, or Justin Burris has 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties and 1 terrible hit. I know everyone's playing at full speed, but Taylor Heineke clearly was sliding, and I thought he was a dead man. Back-to-back plays, you got Justin Burris helmet to helmet as Heineke was baseball sliding. So that's a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct. That killed him. That led to a field goal, thankfully, but it could have totally been avoided. And then right after that, Heineke gets sacked from underneath by Brian Burns, who then has him underneath. And then you have Hassan Reddick doomsdaying Taylor Heineke, pulling him backwards, full extension of his back, freaking doomsday to Superman, just breaking his back, brutal. And I'm surprised Taylor Heineke was alive. But when you get issues like that in the defensive backfield, while your front of your defense is getting just lit up by a gigantic offensive line, the hog mollies. I think that they were the hoggies. They were the hoggies. It's a bit before my time, but the Washington football team bullied our defensive line. And then when the defensive line needed the help of this defensive secondary, Dante Jackson, Justin Burris, Stephon Gilmore not there throughout the entire game. We'll take a look at the snap count later on, maybe tomorrow. We'll talk about that in the midweek episode. Then as a unit, defensively, you're going to be susceptible to big plays. So to start off the second half, the Washington football team took off just over 6 minutes and then resulted in a DeAndre Carter touchdown against Dante Jackson, who completely lost him on the double move there in the end zone for the 4-yard strike. Another strike against Dante Jackson, who again admitted after the game that he just wasn't himself and he needs to look himself in the mirror and they need to move on. And I sure do hope he looks himself in the mirror and, does some soul searching. Maybe gain some confidence from the Cam Newton and believe in himself and realize, you know what? Despite that game, the one game that he had a bad game, the previous 10 weeks, he's been absolutely on fire. Everyone's been singing his praises, and he deserves whatever money that's coming his way in the offseason. It was just a bad game. This is another reason where Cam Newton just gives his team a lift. No matter whether they lose the game or win the game, he's always going to keep them in it. And while, yes, he scored a touchdown with DJ Moore where he used his legs to, to fool the defense and eventually finding a DJ Moore streaking across the back of the end zone, he then runs for 24 yards. But the strike to Christian McCaffrey, who himself has not really found the back of the end zone that often this year, Cam's arm there that reminded me of 2015 Cam. He just sees the field different, not only just his stature, but now as an experienced 10-plus year vet in the NFL. The meld that he has with Christian McCaffrey, finding him and just launching it over the 2 different levels of defense. Pinpoint accuracy to find Christian untouched in the end zone. It was like a Carolina Panthers fan's dream. right there. That connection there. Everyone's been talking about the mesh meld and the in the run option plays. I like that connection. You know what? The run option plays are cool. It's awesome. It's exciting. You don't know who has the ball, but that connection right there. That's that mind meld that they have not lost since 2019, since, as we all remember, that one super awesome moment when they're up against the Green Bay Packers and Clay Matthews was still playing. Cam Newton telling Clay, "Oh, you watch film? All right, that's cool. Check this out. Ready?" And then just strikes right to Christian McCaffrey, a bit closer to the end zone, which makes this even more incredible because as arguably, I think Sanchez says, in his short 2-game season thus far, that was Cam Newton's best throw so far this season. And I could understand why the coaching staff decided to keep PJ Walker on the sidelines, because Cam just kept making plays to keep the Panthers in the game. But unfortunately, situations happened where the Panthers opted to try to do special teams, and then there was a miscommunication, called the timeout, put the offense out there, and Christian McCaffrey missed the first down. Literally, he caught it maybe a hair in front of the yellow first down marker, and then just got the great play by the Washington football team defense. He got pushed out of bounds, turnover on downs, lost the timeout. The Panthers burn another timeout before, I think it was on 2:30 or so in the fourth quarter. So they had nothing going. And when Cam Newton finally had the ball, and he was kind of making some moves happen in the fourth quarter, it was just too much. And I really did think that he was going to do some magician Superman stuff and scramble his way out of a collapsing pocket, and it just didn't happen. Panthers ended up losing this game 27-21. They are now 5-6. I'm not trying to dictate to people how they should watch sports, how they should ingest sports, what their outlook on sports should be. But at the end of the day, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be an escape. And I was talking to my friends about it. They were talking about just how I'm obsessed with sports, not just football, but soccer, baseball, basketball, all that stuff. It's an escape from what we've all been dealing with for over 2 years now, and it's always been that way. And this is something to talk about. Before Cam Newton joined the Carolina Panthers off the couch, it was painful to watch. You almost asked yourself, do I really want to put myself through this with Sam Darnold under center? It was embarrassing. It was an embarrassing thing to take part of. And then when you put yourself through it, you hated yourself. It was like going out drinking and ask yourself, do I really even like tequila right now? But, I guess I kind of have to because I'm out. And you take a couple tequila shots, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor, and the next day you're like, I hated that. I hate myself for doing that. And that's what it felt like watching the Panthers, especially, and they lose just with no spirit, no fight, no nothing against teams like the New York Giants or the New England Patriots. But at least in this game, yes, they lost. Yes, it wasn't the storybook ending we wanted, like we kind of got against Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, Cam came home. Everyone got the hats, and everyone was super fired up. Vloggers from all over the place. I'm seeing Unnecessary Bluntness. One of the guys I follow, you should definitely follow. You probably already do. He turned out to the game. Panthers Culture on Twitter. He turned out to the game with his kid. Everyone was out there. It was an experience. And yeah, they ended up losing. I get it. And it sucks. And it could have been so much better. They're above 500. They surpassed their record from last year. They firmly hold themselves in the playoff picture in the wild card. Not just the 7th seed, maybe the 6th seed. But this is what makes sports fun. And this is my outlook right now. So they're playing the Miami Dolphins in Miami. Cam Newton, if you remember, when he was playing Miami Dolphins, one of the memorable things when LeBron James was still with the Miami Heat, Cam rushing for the touchdown, doing the LeBron James, that was a ceremony back then. And that's when you kind of knew the Carolina Panthers getting some national recognition, when LeBron James even noticed that. And, I think the Panthers still have an opportunity to do great things. They're playing against Tua Tagovailoa, who's kind of on shaky ground right now throughout the season. He was not even supposed to be under center, but then Jacoby Brissett got hurt and he was in. And so I think the Panthers have a good situation heading into Miami. Then they have the bye week. And you're now giving Cam not just the game plan, which they gave to him today, not the playbook, but the game plan. And look what he turned out. He gave the Panthers, an opportunity to win, albeit they were pretty deep in their zone and died seconds in the fourth. But he's always going to give you the opportunity to make something happen. And so now you're going to give him another week against the Miami Dolphins, and then you're going to have a bye week for him to just ingest, as long as he stays healthy, ingest the entirety of the playbook, the rest of it, and gain more of a connection with guys like Robbie Anderson, Tommy Tremble, who we found a couple of times with some pretty nice strikes there. Tommy Tremble, remember him? Completely gone. Where has that guy been until Cam Newton showed up? He had a bit of a lull as the Panthers went through a lull, but he is now reinvigorated with Cam Newton back. And so imagine with another week of a game time, experience and then the bye week to digest the playbook even more when they come back, and then they take on the the Atlanta Falcons at the bank. Last time I saw that matchup live, it was with my wife, not then wife, but now wife, and he dunked on a guy. It's going to be the resurrection of the dunk, and I hope that he does dunk on somebody, because the Atlanta Falcons, mind you, they have the exact same amount of losses as the Carolina Panthers at this very moment. Just on the screen, they look like the Panthers did pre-Cam in that losing streak. Just no life. Absolutely no life. Mercedes-Benz got no life. No oil in that engine. It is cooked. And so I feel like the Panthers come back from the bye week, get that dub, and then they head to Buffalo. Well, I'll be. And the Buffalo Bills just got absolutely raked over the goddamn coals by the Indianapolis Colts. I should have taken that. The freaking Bills were favored by 7. I should have taken the gosh darn Colts. So you never know. You never know what's going to happen. You never know. With Cam, who is a big physical guy, he can take on that lake effect snow. And, Carolina Panthers taking on Carolina North. And, that is a toss-up. And then you obviously got, this is the stretch that we've all been talking about, Bucks, Saints, Bucks. Saints got absolutely road killed by the Philadelphia Eagles. Trevor Siemian is their quarterback, so let's leave it to that. The Panthers normally do pretty well against backup quarterbacks if their names aren't Tyler Heineke, who is on fire right now. I'm going to give it to him. And so Panthers should do all right, at least there, despite the fact that it's going to be in the Superdome. And then you got the Bucks, and we don't know how the Bucks are going to do. They're going to play the New York Giants on Monday night. You're going to probably watch this after this vlog and hate watch it because you're watching against a team that embarrassed us and made us doubt our fandom in the Giants, and then you're going to watch Tom Brady do his thing. And if they lose, the entire division's lost. And so the Panthers didn't really lose ground there. And then you have that 3-week stretch where anything can happen, where I definitely think they could definitely beat the Saints unless something absolutely wild happens injury-wise. The Panthers should win in New Orleans, and then maybe split the games against the Bucks, maybe win at home, and then lose on the road. Who knows? I think the season is still, it's not lost, and it's going to be fun no matter what. Why? Because number one is playing, and he brings everybody up. He brings the fans up. He brings the skill position players up. And while the defense, they had a rough day. They've been supporting this team for weeks, absolute weeks. And for the first time, it was the offense. And so now maybe next week, everyone gets back on the same page. Defense looks themselves in the mirror, ate some humble pie in front of a home crowd. Panthers lost 4 straight at home now. Maybe that's a wake-up call for them. The same way the offense just got a bit of a wake-up call in the shape of Cam Newton. So that's how I feel. Let me know how you feel in the comment community. Again, it's a beautiful place to be. Let me know how you feel after this game. Maybe I'll have time to just chill the F out. Watch this. Put your feelings out there. And also, spread the word. Like, subscribe. If you have a dog, hold your dog. If you have your cat, hold your cat. It's all good. It's just a game. Panthers were in it, man. They were in it. And guess what? Win or lose, right now, they're fun to watch. And so, again, like, subscribe, comment community. I'll see you guys midweek. Thanks for watching.